This was a tale of two Jacksons and two Jadens, and while they've given us reasons to be cautiously optimistic, we have at least 5 reasons to be concerned. Hey, at least we didn't lose the bye week. You're listening to Can't Read, Can't Write. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Can't Read, Can't Write, the podcast that proves Spartans can talk. I'm Mike Jones, joined as always by the business traveler who hates Bloody Marys, Kevin Grech, and the guy who gets Brian Kelly his scissor lift discounts, Alex Plum. It's been at least 3 weeks since we've done a Brian Kelly bit. Alex, well done, sir.
I've always been really into Herc equipment rentals, and I have a frequent user discount there. So Brian's reached out a few times, and
I'm surprised you're not a United guy.
Can I suggest an alternate intro for Plum? How about least efficient clickbait open writer of all time? Like you got the we got 2 of this and 2 of that, and we hate it. Also, top 5 reasons, but it took 7 minutes for Jonesy to read the whole thing. It's there. The clickbait is there. And
he's auditioned many a time, submissions to BuzzFeed. They've rejected him every time.
It's because he kept plugging Qualtrics the whole time, and they for some reason don't love that. 9 reasons why your Qualtrics survey could be better.
Dude, there's so many reasons. Do you have an NPS question? There's number 1 reason. There's a way that we could improve.
I just want to say about the Brian, and the reason I had to do this because he is trending, and the reason he's at least one of the many reasons. I don't know if he's murdered any young people this week, but his staff cleared out of the booths with 2 minutes left to go, and they're walloping by Alabama this week. So that's cool, and I think bodes well for his leadership of the program, and rooting for him.
Mike Norvell's staff cleared out of the booths as well, but that was because real dead man walking scenario at 1-9 Florida State. Hey, look, folks, as bad as Michigan State might have it, at least we're not Florida State.
Well said.
So
well said.
We, of course, want to thank everyone for listening. And if we could ask really the smallest favor, truly, please, people, share the pod with Spartans in your life. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spartan_pod. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel yet, what are you doing? Go to YouTube, look for Spartan_pod, give it a follow, comment. I don't know. What drink do you think we're drinking right now? Give it a guess. Give it a guess right now.
Right now.
John.
Go. Guess. You're
Do it.
tweeting it. Tweet your guesses.
Tweet them, like them, subscribe them, comment them. Anyway, Greg, I know you did some things in the outline, but I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to have Plum do it because he wrote such an awesome cold open that definitely didn't need to get edited after the first go around.
Wow.
Clickbaity and poorly written.
I'm just saying you are both so hurtful when you're sober. Well, this podcast always leads.
Let's fix that. Let's be on our way then.
This podcast always leads behind the green wall, where football always leads. We did not lose the bye week. Much has and can be said about that. But we're really going to spend some good time in men's basketball, where we defeated Monmouth and Niagara in convincing-ish performances, which we will dissect. Love to see women's basketball continuing to hang hundreds on their opponents. We'll talk hockey. We'll head off Grand River for did anything happen in the world of sports while we weren't watching football? Unsure. Preview the Illinois game that we're destined to win by 400 points, and preview upcoming Kansas in basketball before taking your Twitter questions. All 4 of them.
Yeah, it's a light week. I think people might have been distracted this week. Host Michael Jones.
Yeah. If you had a bad week, we don't blame you. It was not a great week for us either. And it's, largely because football wasn't played. But hey,
right.
Ends up there's other ways to lose a bye week. And so we just want to say that if you, like us, are very bummed by what happened on Tuesday, continue to be bummed, but no, you don't need to come here and be bummed. So I think other folks have said this. We'll continue to, obviously, when it feels right or appropriate, chime in on the things that we feel deeply about, and they may be at times offhanded, but we're not going to let. I think we all, for 4 years, let that man take a lot of oxygen out of our lives, and this is not going to be a place that happens again. So, anyway, anything else you guys want to say on it, or should we talk green wall?
Well said.
Yeah.
All right.
Green wall.
Let's get into it. So, football. We didn't lose the bye week. Seemingly no injuries. It sounds like Aiden Childs will probably be back for our next game. I guess no news is good news. I don't know. Bad news is Illinois also on a bye week.
Yep. So, I mean,
Great.
It's going to be tough going on the road, beating a ranked opponent. But my preview.
Wait, are they
of the
ranked still?
Illini-
They feel like full frauds at this point in time. They can't still be ranked.
No, they fell out. You're right.
Are they 5-5? 6-3?
Okay, now it's time for us to move on. We'll do this
Okay.
is the preview.
All right. But what did happen this week is that MSU basketball played 2 games, to Plum's point, Monmouth and Niagara. I think this. I got a few through line items on these, but what were your initial takeaways from these games?
So for game one, the Monmouthians, the Monmouth, the
Monmouthers.
right?
Yeah. Mouth.
The Monmouth project. I don't know. That is a dated joke and reference right there.
Please stop.
I mean, the big takeaway there is I remember turning it on and in the first half just being like, ho hum, what a bunch of mid dudes. Just a bunch of mid dudes midding around being mid boys.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Especially that Jaden Akins fella. Giving up on him, I said to myself, my wife, and my dog. And then I slapped my knees with both hands, and I got up and I went into the den. Then I was called back. The den.
Is this where your piano is and you're still within sight line of the TV?
There's no TV. It's we listen on a big radio that's in the corner, and we all gather around it.
Is the den next to the parlor?
It is. It's filled with Chesterfields. I went from black and white to color in the second half.
Oh, God.
What'd
you call Jaden Akins?
I was talking.
Uh-oh.
That was good. That was good, Jonesy. I'm proud of you. It was just like going to Technicolor in
Here it is.
I am thrown off now.
Rattled.
Because
you got him.
Fully rattled.
Fully is still rethinking exactly what he said and in what.
My life is flashing before my eyes, and I'm distracted by how boring it is.
Jaden Akins, 23 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. It was an incredible performance that he ended up with, is I think what you were trying to say. And a lot of it was in the second half, though he did get going in the first half with a little bit of some alley-oop action that we hadn't seen from Akins. I don't think we'd seen like more than one a season before.
Yep. But also at the same time, like a lot of missed threes, a lot of issues that we've seen before in years past coming up. But the second half, fantastic for our guy. Had 5 dishes, got to the boards pretty frequently as well, had 9 boards, almost double-double. So, like, couldn't complain at that point.
Yeah, this I will say this game had all the trappings of the indeed like emphasis on the trap of James Madison last year. Team went 3 for 18 behind the arc. I think in the James Madison game they went 1 for 20, if recollection is correct. But unlike James Madison, Monmouth didn't have the shooting night that JMU did. And frankly, JMU was a far more athletic team. No disrespect intended to the Monmouthians, but and MSU, like, look, I mean, 48 boards on 61 field goals. Or I'm sorry, let me check that. 15 offensive boards on 31 misses. Not bad.
Pretty good.
You'll take that.
Yeah. Solid.
But yeah, 48 total rebounds. I think the other, like, look, it's worth pointing out Jeremy Fears, 8 assists, 2 rebounds, only 3 points, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Frankie Fiddler, 9 points, but 5 for 7 from the line. The 7 from the line is the point I would underscore there.
Yep.
Didn't play a lot in the second half, though. Tom Izzo used some playing time early on Frankie Fiddler of, like, you got to try harder. And not to, like, flip the page, but when we look at the next game, you'll notice a big change in the number of rebounds that Frankie Fiddler had. I think he went from 3 to 9. But the one player, go ahead.
I think maybe we're going in the same direction. And we have Mr. Jace Richardson really pushing his play time right now. He got 22 minutes in that game. Again, looking forward, he got 17 minutes in the next game, which actually I think he deserved more against Niagara. But my man, for a true freshman coming in, I mean, expectations were high. Remember that he is, I mean, I guess Jeremy Fears is barely ranked above him, but he's the 3rd highest ranked player recruiting wise on this team. And it is paying off. He's pushing the ball. He's making plays. He's got a high motor. He's making shots. Like, he's here to play basketball. That is for sure. And he's doing it in a different way than his dad did back in the day. He is his own separate guy, and he's making it count right now.
I want to ask you guys, when do you think, at what point in the season do the wheels fall off the bus for Jaden Akins? And I don't care that you sort of thought he redeemed himself in the second half. I know we have
the whole premise that we just established.
No,
throw that
I'm
out.
not accepting that, because we haven't gotten to Niagara yet, and I think that there's some more concerning things there. The wheels are going to come off the bus for young Jaden Akins. They had last season multiple times.
Old Jaden Akins at this point.
Old Jaden Akins, mid Jaden Akins, whomever. So call me a pessimist. That's all right. But at what point do we look to Jace Richardson to really start driving the bus or put new wheels on the bus?
Yeah, keep messing with the metaphor. You'll find it eventually.
I won't. Not today.
Man.
Is that wrong? I mean, do you see an opportunity, obviously, for him there?
Well, I guess
I don't think Jaden's going anywhere from the starting lineup.
Sure.
Until Cohen Carr was here, I mean, we talked about Jaden Akins as, like, the most athletic dude on the team.
Yep.
And even in his off nights, he has done some things more consistently and better. But Plum, I'll accept your premise. And I think I don't know that Tom is going to change a ton by way of, because we saw in the Niagara game that we were able to do. Jaden Akins, even being a primary scoring threat, is still not a Tyson Walker scoring threat, right? Like, we're not there. If it comes this year, I'd be surprised, but who knows? But we have enough backcourt depth at this point in time between, like, Jace's, I don't care what his ranking is. He seems underrated, frankly, the way he's playing as a true freshman.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare it to where Xavier Booker was ranked and what production we're getting out of him, then yeah, certainly that's the case.
And I think more than, well, maybe not true, but it feels a little bit. There's more busts, I think, in football than there are in basketball. But, like, basketball feels a lot more. The rankings are geared towards what your pro prospects are. But anyway, point being is that I don't know that it really particularly matters if Jaden Akins is lights out on an even night, because he's going to have people who are constantly pushing him. We haven't even gotten to. He only played 4 minutes, but Kurtang played 4 minutes in this game, scored 5 points.
Yeah.
Like, you will take anybody out scoring their minute production.
Yep.
Like, so I don't know. I think Akins is just going to be pushed to perform. I don't know. I think it's a fair question, but I don't think he's going anywhere from the starting lineup.
No, I think he certainly hasn't earned that demotion yet. We'll see how he does in Kansas, and obviously one can wish good things, but I'm going to hold out some temperateness. And let me just say the second thing I thought from this Monmouthy game, which was the most disappointing thing for me. You could both assume what I'm going to say next. 18 for 27 from the charity stripe. That's too many points. Far, far, far too many points to leave on the court against a team. And I get we beat them by God knows how much, but it could have been by 37. And that's not that. I mean, even looking at the point, I mean, it's just the line here is terrible. I think Jace Richardson's the only one that made all of his free throws, him and Carson. Everyone else, I mean, fucking Zajaman Zapapapabla was 1 for 4. Unacceptable. And I get Jaden Akins 6 for 7 might be somewhat good, but it's not. It's not. He should have been 8 for 7. That's the kind of leader we need him to be. So anyway.
And don't forget Frankie Fiddler. You better come after him too at 5 for 7.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not good. I mean, Cohen Carr was 1 for 3. So you can't, and I don't know which one of Jeremy Fears was 1 for 3. I mean, fuck. It's free money. I'm never going to get over this. I'm going to continue to harp on this.
You would hate or would have hated the 4 missed layups at the beginning of the game. No, I'm sorry, in the Niagara game. This was the Niagara game. Niagara was up 9-3, and MSU missed 4 freebies.
With our 7-footers out there, we haven't even talked about the 2 big lineup yet. I was counting up possessions where Jaden Akins and Jace Richardson were on the floor at the same time, and not getting to your point, Plum, about replacement. Great replacement theory, and which you brought up and you subscribed to, not me. And actually, there might be something to it. I kind of personally don't think of Jaden Akins and Richardson as similar players. I think they play different roles, but they don't overlap a whole ton in the different lineups. So there might be something to that. There might be something to, hey, we don't need Jaden Akins on the floor. It's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that.
Good.
But let's stick on Jace then as we move to Niagara. And I know he wasn't the story of the game, and we'll get to that in a second, but it's a worthwhile enough transition point. 17 minutes for Jace Richardson against Niagara in a 96-60 victory that was not comfortable until the last 10 minutes where they blew the doors off of them.
Which was such a refreshing thing. I'm used to the overmatched opponents like scoring, going on like a 13-3 run in the last 5 minutes. It was nice to kind of like push away a little bit. But actually, maybe it's not nice in certain ways. I have a theory on that, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, when they cut it to 4 in the second half, I was not happy. But Jason Richardson, 17 minutes, 12 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 3 for 3 from the stripe, Plum, 1 for 1 from behind the arc. I think my overarching theme as it relates to this team coming out of both of these games is that I'm very excited for the Champions Classic because that's a real team we'll be playing. No disrespect to Niagara and Monmouth again. But Niagara had one dude above 6'6", and I am certain, needs to be investigated for prop bets on himself because he tried his damnedest to foul out of that game. But the Jace again, though, I'm curious to see what he looks like in front of real competition, but was excellent, belonged. And I don't know, what's the last freshman I don't. I'll use the combo guard as the phrase because I don't want to count Cassius in here because Cassius as a freshman was very much in distributor mode, right? Like he was a better version of the Trey Holloman of like just Trey Holloman freshman year of don't fuck up so that I can stay on the court. So I can't. Is Gary Harris the last freshman guard that like? I know it's early, but seemed like he belonged and got playing time, and
Yeah, I mean, have there
Rocket?
been any other freshman guards that maybe made a career for themselves after all? Maybe in the NBA, wearing yellow and purple on the West Coast.
It's hurtful.
I'm just trying to think of
It's rude. It's mean. It's not technically correct. He hasn't made a career yet.
You just signed another
No,
contract.
I'm not gonna. Do we have a sound effect we can use to drown out this?
I was. I guess I didn't really think of him as a like combo sort of.
You think of him more of as a wing? Is that what you think of him as?
I think of him. I think him as more of a pure two, and or to a degree a wing, but like that's a fair point. Max Christie's a comp, I guess, but Jace clearly has more distribution responsibilities.
You want combo guard, so like a Rocket or like okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just there's a lot of trust being placed in him, and you're right. Max Christie is the last freshman guard that I can think of, but like Jace is bringing the ball up in ways that Max Christie is not or did not.
I mean, do you go new to the team with Tyson Walker? He was already a vet when he showed up on campus, but.
Yeah, that's why I don't really. It's the freshman piece of this that I think sticks out to me.
Okay.
But anyway, either way, Jace Richardson doing great. The story of this game, though, was Jackson Kohler,
the Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
We need a Teen Wolf drop. We need something. We need a Aru or something for our Teen Wolf.
Listeners, we have the soundboard now, so if someone wants to create something, look, and as a general rule, so long as you're not using a bunch of copyrighted material, please send us drops. We will use them, unless it's of us, or only if it's Greg saying racist things, in which case it's fine. But
Plump's the one with the great replacement theory, not me.
Oh my god.
Not me.
I'm calling the police.
Dude played out of his mind. He had the best game that he's had in the green and white. And I think we have a question about this from our liquor benefactor, Mike Jones. Like, which version of Jackson Kohler can we expect? The version from the Monmouthian game, where it's pretty mid, or the version where it's like first team all Big Ten?
Well, let's go back to Monmouthian, because it was not mid. It was bad. A dude could not hold the ball to save his life.
Okay.
It was bad. He had 3 turnovers in that game, 5 points, 1 block, 1 steal. You'll take it, but the NBD against the rebounding numbers, though, for Kohler are starting to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
8 in against Monmouth, 13 against Niagara. 20 points, so double out of Jackson. Jackson just needs to learn to pass the ball, I think, is my biggest beef with him at this point in time. Like, he's going to continue to be honored as a scoring threat. Even last year, he got double-teamed routinely. And I'm not convinced if that was because he's a scoring threat or because they know he doesn't pass. Or both.
Yeah, it could be both. But being there in the house, again, thanks to our liquor benefactor, Mike Jones. He's got a feel. He's got the moves. I like the way that the feet move.
He was impressive in that game.
He can take a 3 occasionally, 1 for 2. Interesting.
0 for 2 is what I'm seeing on the box score.
1 for 2 against Monmouth. 0 for 2. I have multiple box scores open right now. I just good for him. This is a guy that's kind of struggled, I think, to put it together, to kind of see it. And this was a game that I think might show him what his capabilities are. That's my hope for this.
I think it helps too that he's finally playing in position, right? I mean, last year they were playing him at the 5. And I mean, I guess with Hall and Booker, you probably figured there wasn't a ton of time to be had there. And with how weak they were at the 5 last year, natural consequence. But
should we swing the pendulum all the way to the other side and talk about the 2 big lineup? Because Jesus, my God, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Because you know whose name we have. Well, I'll say 2 other things I think that are worth mentioning. Carr, in both of these games, we've not called his name as we've been talking about them, but has been a solid and meaningful contributor in both of them. I don't think in the Niagara box score it represents what he provided to the team. The 6 points, not great. Don't love the 3 turnovers. I don't actually know that all of those were on him. I think a couple might have been missed alley-oops that, like, not his fault that he's a freak and he can get so high up there that, like, he can touch the ball. But only 3 boards, that's not a reflection on the contribution that he was making on the glass. Like, I mean, he was in there on a lot of it, moving balls around, moving bodies around, and just other folks came up with it from time to time. But excellent games out of Cohen Carr. Like, so much, and was it in the Niagara game that he, like, had a dribble drive for a dunk? Like, we haven't seen him drive the lane.
Yeah, that was against Niagara where he came off a screen and it was like 2 steps and then it was like, wow.
Yeah,
fantastic.
and this is potentially a segue to the 2 big lineup because they're finally running some offense that makes sense for his skill set. That doesn't work in the 2 big lineup. When he's out there with Kohler, it's way better because Kohler can at least stretch the floor. Kohler's a way better screener. But anyway, Greg, I'll let you tee up.
So big thank you to our heroes on this pod. Andy H of TRCMB fame makes a lot of really good hype videos. Also makes fantastic box scores after the game. The starting lineup, including the 2 bigs, Xavier Booker and Simon Plum. Help me with the pronunciation.
Can't.
Shimon.
Won't do that again. If it's not Simon, it's a lie.
Yeah. They played.
He's a lie.
In the Niagara game, they played the biggest share of possessions, 22 possessions, -7 in the plus minus across those. To put that in perspective, the next 3 lineups in terms of total number of plays, +8, +2, +7, all in the positive to significantly in the positive. But the starting lineup with the 2 bigs against a team that tops out at, did you say 6'6", Jonesy?
Except for one player, yeah.
-7. And it's not like some fluke of the box score. It was evident from the get-go. It wasn't just that Niagara hit those big 3s to start the game. It was like they controlled the game in the first 3 minutes before the subs happened. And then at the beginning in the second half, they went on another mini run. The 2 big lineup does not work. It's a disaster. And we can't stick with this. We have got to do something else. And we've got to get Cohen Carr involved as a 4. I'm fully on board with that train. I know that social media, Twitter is all like, Cohen Carr as a 4. There's an element of truth to it. This 2 big lineup is not working. And some of it is that Xavier Booker is not really contributing a whole lot to the team right now.
Yeah, we didn't actually say his name.
We didn't
at all.
Nope.
Yeah, he went 2 for 10 in the Monmouth game. And where are you at? 3 for 7. when you're that tall, 5 boards and 2 boards is not good enough. Not good enough.
Xavier Booker has fewer blocks than Jaden Akins so far this season.
God,
No way.
Yep. It's early in the season, but that's where we're at.
You know, folks have made the comp for Jaren Jackson, but let's remember, Jaren Jackson is like 7th all time in blocks for MSU.
Right. And
he did that in 1 year. Like, I think it's a fair question to ask. Like, Xavier Booker has a long way to grow if he wants to be a lottery pick.
He's got to be an NBA pick first if he wants to be a lottery pick.
I think he's an NBA pick just because of his size and because he can shoot a 3-ball. Like, I think he would go in the second round.
Currently 1 for 7 on 3 balls for the season. Again, low sample size, but continue.
I'm just saying that if he wants to be, what is it, 17, 18 picks is the first. He's got to. There's something's got to click for him. I'll also say though, Izzo did weird things with the lineups these 2 games, which isn't wholly surprising, but there were a lot of weird changes happening. Greg, it sounds like you have them up, but like I think somewhere between 28 and 30 different lineups in these games.
25 different lineups, according to Andy H. in the Niagara game, and I don't have his box score up for the.
I think it was 28 for the other
project.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of lineups. So hopefully they were treating it a little bit like a tune-up between these 2 games. Though I got to ask, does Tom not care about winning the Champions Classic? Like, he got Spain, he got 2 exhibitions, he got 2 tune-ups, and it doesn't feel like we're any closer to him being like, I want to win a game.
We'll find out on Tuesday. Stay tuned for the preview.
The knock about like kids these days, right, is that it's not that they don't like winning, it's that they don't hate losing.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tom Izzo hates losing, and I know he loves winning, but bro, just once. Like, could you try and dial in on a rotation earlier in the year? Anyway, it was fun basketball, I think, is the gist of it.
How about Nick Sanders getting involved, distributing a little bit?
Yeah, a couple good minutes.
Almost taking a shot at one point.
Almost
involved on a rebound. Nick Sanders. Stevie was in the house, by the way. I don't know if that came across on the broadcast, but he was there. He got the
the call out.
Mm-hmm.
We should mention the twins, the walk-ons out of Okemos, both I believe 6'7".
Yeah.
Tom Izzo announced after the game that they're redshirting. So our scrub time lineup is pretty small. Is it just Nick?
And Garrett Norman, apparently. He's scrub time lineup.
And TBD on, why is his name? Jesse McCullough. But good for the Twins. Izzo made the comment that they're good enough to play, whether it's here or somewhere else. But that he felt like he was doing them a disservice by wasting eligibility. Yeah. So I appreciated that. Like, it is kind of a bummer going from Stevie, though.
Yeah.
I don't feel it for Nick. Plum, he's a handsome young man. He seems like a nice kid.
Sure, he's great. And I'm sure Barry's been good for the program.
It's nice having Barry around. It's nice seeing Barry in Breslin Center. It's great.
Is anyone...
Hey, Barry.
Do kids know who he is?
Barry Sanders? I think they kind of like look him up They don't remember him. That's for sure. This is a good time, I think, to present my theory for why this team ran away at the end of the game when usually we don't. And I think it's because I'm making it more dramatic.
Yeah, that sounds.
Excuse me.
Very dramatic.
The talent curve on this team from the starters to number 9 in the lineup, 10 in the lineup, 11 in the lineup is very flat. I think we have a lot of dudes that are kind of around the same talent level, whether it's Akins, Frankie Fiddler, Trey Holloman, Cohen Carr, kind of just a bunch of the same guys at the same level. And it's a relatively high level of talent. It's on paper maybe the most talented team that Tom Izzo's had in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But we need guys that are stepping up. We need guys that are imposing themselves, that are like, hey, I'm Big Ten first team. I'm Big Ten second team. And we don't have that right now. Maybe Jackson Kohler keeps playing like this. He puts himself in that conversation. Maybe Jaden Akins does the second half of the Monmouthian game a little bit more frequently than he did before. But right now, what I'm seeing is a full roster full of dudes that are at all about the same talent parity. And I think that's why we pulled away at the end of that game when normally we wouldn't. And it's fine. It's going to win you a lot of games. It's going to give Tom Izzo a lot of lineups. But it's going to struggle, I think, to beat high-end talented teams. And that's a little bit of a sprinkle for the Kansas preview coming up in a little bit.
It'd be a tragedy because the Big Ten is ass. So it's a year to hang a banner. Like, hopefully they can unlock it because it's a year to hang a banner.
Yeah, where are we with Ken Pom right now on the Big Ten? Like, it's Purdue and then a chasm and then like us, right?
But Purdue just lost their freak-sized freshman.
Their new freshman.
Center, yeah.
Yeah, basically that's where they're at. I mean, the Big Ten looks pretty mid. So maybe that'll work. We'll find out.
All right. It's worth mentioning because it is getting comical at this point in time. Robin Freilich has the women's Spartans basketball team humming on offense. Saw a lot of this last year. She's got a little Coach Sig in her on run the score up. 100-44 against Yale, passing the century mark again. The transfer, Grace Van Sluten, 19 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, a block, 2 steals. Halleck had 13. Blair had 12. But like what's telling to me about their stat sheet, and you see this in the way that they play, is that everyone contributed across the board. It's not like there's one player who's more meaningfully filling it up. They're able to score in a lot of different ways. So I don't know. Freilich runs a fun offense. I'll just say that. And so if folks have not been checking them out, it's a lot of fun.
Why does Yale bother coming to East Lansing to get smoked like
and that's
this?
the question. Do they just love
they
the
get
fall
paid?
colors?
They don't need to get paid. It's Yale.
Well,
why?
It's their endowment. Is that how endowments work,
endowment.
It just, when I saw that Yale was coming to town, I was like, do we have a Yale connection? Is that what it is? Anyway, dumb. Shouldn't have done it. Total waste of a trip.
Good for them.
Not for us. It was great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. In other news, the hockey team sweeps the Buckeyes. I only actually saw the last score, which is 4-1, but I did see it was a sweep. I wish I knew someone who followed hockey more. So
I wish we were able to watch it, Big Ten. I wish we were able to watch it, all these games on Big Ten Plus.
Wasting your energy being angry at the Big Ten. Silly.
Like so many other things, wasting our energy being angry at, which is why we're a safe place this week.
Safe place, very safe, inclusive and warm.
Saturday game, Ohio State actually goes up because their goalie is kind of like playing out of his mind a little bit. Mm-hmm. But MSU comes back, scores a couple goals, scores an shorthanded goal, my favorite kind of hockey goal, and an empty netter. So, I mean, that turned out to be a big series. We saw this last year where Ohio State kind of came on big at the end of the year, gave us a little bit more than we bargained for at MUN at the end of the year. They are ranked right now. So this is a big home sweep in the conference, taking all those points. And now Notre Dame comes in. Notre Dame's coming in Friday and Saturday. Again, those games will be available to you on the Big Ten Plus streaming app. But we're in it now. I mean, Notre Dame, then the USDL comes in, and then it's Lindenwood. But then after that, Wisconsin, Minnesota, like
that's not a real place. That's a stop on the line to Jersey from Philly. That's on the Patco even. That's not even like the NJ Transit. Holy Lindenwood. So there you go.
Lindenwood. I mean, this is it. If you want a feel-good story in Spartan athletics, the women's soccer team let us down, failed us, right?
Are they in the tournament? Did that happen already and it's already been a disappointment? Did we miss that?
No, we don't know yet. The whole conference schedule isn't fully done yet, right, Plum?
No,
like we haven't done the conference tournament and all that stuff yet. So right. No,
I did see Thanos is going to some giant tournament for the NCAA, so that's exciting for in the tennis. That's happening. Thanos hasn't let us down.
Thanos. Thank God for Thanos. But hockey is your respite. So get out to MUN. It's fun. All the games are sold out. So you're going to have to buy tickets on the secondary market. But if you want to feel good about MSU sports, MUN Ice Arena is the place to do it this year.
All right, look. We got a game this weekend. Maybe you're driving along 94. Maybe you're heading down 52. Who knows? But either way, the point is you're in the neighborhood of Chelsea, that Jackson-Washtenaw County border. And you say, oh, God damn, I'm hungry. Well, the place you should stop is Mama's Mercantile and Eatery off of Clear Lake Road. And if you go on a Saturday or a Sunday, there will be a game on and the volume will be on the TV. So if you go on Saturday, you should go get that Spartan special. That's the Go Green Olive Burger. It's a half-pound locally raised beef, cheddar cheese, house-made olive sauce, lettuce, served with fries and dipping sauce. They got $3 domestic bottles. You know what I can't get out on my East Coast elitism? $3 domestic bottles. Go treat yourself. You got some buffalo chicken dip. It's great. Get some hand beer battered onion rings. Do it all. And if you want to go on a Sunday, even better. Honolulu Burger, in support of your Detroit Lions. It's got that beef. It's got that cheddar. It's got a grilled pineapple. It's got barbecue sauce. It's got mayo. It's got lettuce. And it's also got the fries and dipping sauce. Same drink specials. So get drunk on Saturday, get drunk on Sunday, and then Uber wherever you came from in the state for a low, low price because you saved bucks by saying can't read, can't write to get 10% off of your bill. Anything you guys want to add about Mama's Mercantile and Eatery?
Really tasty. People like it.
People are drowning themselves in the $3 domestic bottles and Honolulu burgers right now. Routinely. Lions are down 23-7 at the half against the Texans. So
their second half team. What I love about Lions fans, though, is that the Lions have been doing so fantastic this year. And there will be a wholesale fire the coordinator's meltdown that happens after a loss. Can we ask questions about Brad Holmes at this point in time, is what people will say. Aaron Glenn, he's bad, right? Whatever. Anyway, Lions fans are hilarious. You guys have never tasted this greatness before, and all of a sudden you're just like you're acting like the Patriots. Anyway.
I don't know where this came from. I don't know why you've decided to alienate our audience, but okay, fun. What a good time. What a fun guy.
Let's
to
talk
have
about the
around.
election. All right. Greg, we have a preview.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for one, folks, before we started recording, Kevin was telling Plum and I all the things he was going to share about the Illini. All the fun facts.
Countless of them. Hundreds.
Maybe tens.
It is definitely true that last week I looked forward to our next game and I was like, oh, Illini, this does not fit in my bit at all. My life is over, basically. I didn't really think about this game. Okay. All that
Isn't
can be
it
said.
Native Heritage Month right now? I'm going to check my work calendar. I think it is. So, Kevin, tread well. Tread sir.
well.
Yeah. All that can be said is that Illinois is trying to be respectful with their whole situation. Remember Chief
whole situation.
Do you remember their whole Chief Illinois dance thing that they used to do with basketball way back in the day? I believe we beat them the night that they performed it for the last time. That's fun. That's a fun little nugget. But yeah, so I've been mostly hung up on this. I have not really been paying attention to Illinois football, but they did just lose to Minnesota at home, got their boat rode, and hopefully it happens again. Hopefully Burt gets more road boat. I mean, last season, what are we doing? Yeah, okay. So this isn't on me. We're moved on. This is on Illinois. I mean, they're a solid team. They're a team that we probably will lose to. But last year we had a chance to win this game, and we should totally do it again this time.
Good.
Preview.
Done.
Well done.
Preview.
Yep. Well previewed.
And that's why they pay me the mediocre bucks, man. Right there.
Yeah.
Earned.
Mid.
What now?
Big league.
Yep.
You get 2 basketball previews.
I only actually previewed one. I previewed the big one. I previewed the Champions Classic. So MSU plays Kansas on Tuesday. Now, Kansas, this may have crossed your desk. I don't know if you guys watched this. Just had a big emotional win at home against UNC, a team that hadn't been there since like the 30s or something like that, which is crazy.
Wow.
Like, we complain as fans about how all of our big games are played at third-party sites, but we've hosted Kansas, I think, at least twice since I've been in the zone. We've had Duke, we've had Carolina, like we've had a lot. We've had Texas multiple times. We've had a lot.
Duke
of
still
good.
owes us one. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
Don't let him off the hook.
I bet that gets paid. I bet that gets paid for. Here's the bad news about Kansas. If you didn't watch that Carolina game, Hunter Dickinson is in his 18th COVID year. Still exists. He's still out there. Do we remember his commitment video? Do you remember how cringe it was? The ice of how cringe that was is cryogenically frozen him in stasis, and he will be a college basketball player for the rest of time, including this year, unfortunately.
If you told me he's the one who sues to get unlimited eligibility, I would not be surprised by that. It's that or Cam Rising, Utah's quarterback, who's going to get his 8th year of eligibility, is seriously petitioning for his 8th year of eligibility.
Somebody's going to do it, and it would behoove him to be the one. But he's a theme on this team. This team is old. Like KJ Adams, also still on this team.
Still
Dude will not go away. AJ Storr, do you remember him from Wisconsin last year? Good
Yes.
news. He's on Kansas now.
Lit
He's
us
on
up.
Kansas's team. Zeke Mayo, their South Dakota State transfer, playing very well in his 5th year as a transfer. So this is an old, experienced team. I would bet if you were going to, add up all the years of experience of college basketball experience they have on the roster, it'd be like 700 cumulative years of experience. It doesn't bode well for us going and beating a team like that on a neutral third-party court. The good news is,
What are they ranked, Kevin?
well, they're ranked number 1, but their Ken Pom. Hold on. You know that we don't care about the ranking. You know that we care about the Ken Pom, and their Ken Pom like 8. They
Wait.
are Ken Pom 8 exactly, and they are Torvik 4. So the good news is maybe you can catch them on an off night. They were just looking at Carolina. They got all excited. Now they got to travel. Maybe we get them on an off night. And to win a game like this, our guys are going to have to play top notch. And there's going to have to be no too big lineup. As soon as you see a too big lineup out there on the court, consider that a white flag from Tom Izzo. It's over. It's game over.
You mean so at the tip?
Yeah. If they roll out the too big lineup at the tip, turn the TV off and walk away.
I would, though I will respect Tom Izzo. If we all recall Hunter Dickinson yapping at Tom Izzo on the bench and doing the too small to Tom Izzo, I will respect him if he says, Shimon, I brought you here for one reason and one reason alone.
Go club him in the knee. Go
Are you
give him
familiar
the
with
Nancy Kerrigan.
Tanya Harding.
Yes, exactly.
Jeff Gillooly. Gonna get Gillooly'd.
Greg, since you were too cowardly to do it, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about Bowling Green, which we play next. And if you say it doesn't matter, you're a fool, because we only play teams that there's a connection with. And the Bowling Green Falcons are represented by Lou Rawls, Tum Tum Naren. Coming home.
Oh, that's right. Lou Rawls.
And they're the Falcons. So let's see what we can find out about Falcons. You've been so good. Here's some facts about Falcons. Kevin Greck gave me a falconry glove as part of being in his wedding. That was his groomsman gift, was a falconry glove.
This is a well-known fact about Falcons. I actually thought that was one of the better groomsmen gifts. I was actually very pleased with that.
You might have been the only one.
Jonesy's groomsmen gifts were lock picking sets. And then some other dude would take that idea, being a lock picking lawyer, and make tons of money of it on YouTube. But not you, bud.
Wait,
some other dude.
There's a lock picking lawyer
on YouTube. Yeah. For a while, I thought maybe this is Jonesy, but then I watched one video and it was very clearly not you, because he was brief and he was funny. And that was demonstrated.
Ouch.
Demonstrated, very succinctly that that was not Mike Jones there on the camera.
That's funny, because everything that your wife has told me is that you are brief and occasionally funny. But anyway, moving on. Let's do these Twitter questions. First up, listener Mike Jones.
Goodness.
We had 2 different Jackson Kohlers this week. Post-game Monday, Izzo said he's been the best player all summer.
I like how this started with Jonesy, I think, paying me a compliment about
indirectly
the Falcon glove, but then it just went It went off. So Bowling Green previewed. Well done.
Yeah. Anyway, Plum, we had two different Jackson Kohlers this week. Post game Monday, Izzo said he's been the best player all summer. So which Kohler do you think we get for the full season? Monday Kohler or Thursday Kohler?
Probably going to get like late evening Tuesday Kohler. It's some version of like aiming toward Monday, but giving us a kind of constant and bemusing regression to the Thursday mean. I don't know. If he can work on a fuller beard, really kind of grow to adult wolf from teen wolf, then I think we will see the kind of progress we expect to out of him. It's just going to be time and confidence and not running the kind of lineups that Tom is going to run this season.
Jackson, I promise you, just grow it until it gets disgustingly long, and it'll cover up the bald spots.
Or it won't.
Eventually.
Next up from listener Mike Jones, sorry for the Malort last week, he says, apologizing for something he didn't need to. Had to have something disgusting in there after an awful game. Plum is a freak for liking it. That's rude and hurtful. Also untrue. People of discerning tastes have long regarded Malort as a superior liqueur, known for its calming effects and its deliciousness and versatility in a variety of settings.
Versatility?
Versatility. May I just say,
please tell me all the occasions in which Malort makes sense.
Football losses to be soothed, football wins to be palliated, to sort of mediate the joy. So it kind of brings you back to a level of stasis that you can continue to function at, that you're not sort of nirvana'd to death. With friends, with family. Recently, I was in Chicago for a work thing, and a woman is part of our fellowship who came from the Netherlands, and I did a shot of Malort together because I wanted to introduce her to Malort. And do you know what she said? This is quite good. Quite good. And I agree.
This woman from the Netherlands, English not the first language.
Irrelevant. Listen, Europeans speak English better than most Americans do, so I'm not going to hear anything about that. That's for sure.
And she appreciated Malort, so she
discerning.
American already, right there.
But what did you guys think about this week's? This was no guesses, but I'll tell you what it was. I was one off. I guessed the Deep Eddy lemon vodka, and I was wrong. It was the Deep Eddy lime vodka this week.
It definitely has that citrusy flavor.
Quite good.
I don't mind it. It honestly not bad for sipping.
I would not normally sip on a vodka, but quite good.
I think if you cut it with a soda water, it'd be like I would drink a lot of those.
Quite gooder, you might say.
Jonesy, you brought up for the Teen Wolf the bald spots in the beard.
Yeah.
Your man on the street reporting from the upper deck at Breslin Center. I got to tell you, Greg Paulus's bald spot very visible to everyone in the whole building. So I sent you guys a picture of that. I asked you to tweet him about it. Did you do that?
I did not.
Okay. Well, that's probably good because he was very nice about the program in his press conference. So I would have felt guilty about it. But man, just staring right down that monster, the bald spot on Greg Paulus.
I was winking at you.
Yep.
Next up, Greg, when's the pod leaving this cesspool and joining Blue Sky?
Yeah, the migration to email is definitely real, and maybe the migration to Blue Sky is next. As long as it's not Threads. I don't want to out of the frying pan into the fire with Threads. Blue Sky would be the one for me. Jonesy, what do you think?
Well, Blue Sky needs to not suck, but this is worth reminding folks that if for some reason you've left Twitter and we saw a fairly decent departure, you can email us at can'treadcan'twrite1855@gmail.com. We will happily include your questions every week. You just got to set a little internal reminder, like Saturday evening, Sunday morning, to ping us. But we will happily include. Again, can'treadcan'twrite1855@gmail.com. If you're including the apostrophes, you're doing it wrong. So
yes. Yeah. So stop doing that, you apostrophizers.
Next up from Thomas Zabiasi to Jonesy. How many more wins should we spot the men's basketball team since we seem to have multiple point guards? Izzo likes.
When should we spot them?
I like that.
Look, guard play can get you a long way in the tournament. Until proven otherwise, this team is going to limp into the tournament, though. There is just not. I just haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and look, Kansas will tell us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Kansas game will tell us, because Kansas is good. Like, and I don't need us to win for us to say, well, we might have a team here. But I'm a little bit worried about this game.
I mean, the old adage in college basketball is you want to get old. And they are geriatric over there. Next up from Thomas to Plum. Should they cap ticket prices for college football if you're in regular people's seats, maybe $60? This is inspired by trying to see a game for the red silverware team. And then I will add forks down to this.
Or sideways. You did
sideways
tweet
this on Saturday, this past Saturday. Congrats to Kirk Snetti.
Yep, we will. And he doesn't lose. As he said it, I don't fucking lose. So he's
Kurt, not Kirk.
Doesn't matter. His name isn't important enough to remember or say correctly. Clerp can fuck off. But
Bert, Kirk,
Burf. But I guess I'm more confused. Did you have bad seeds, Thomas, and pay more than 60 for that game? Because that's upsetting. The tickets that we booked the day before, and we got it
the day before.
Like 30, 20 something.
And we got good seats.
Yeah, it was fine. So, yeah.
I will say there maybe changes coming to Spartan Stadium and regular people's seats won't be affected. But if you wanted to spend a lot of money,
it would be a good spot.
You may have more opportunities to do that in the future. Next up from CV Bagel, in an election cycle where podcasts hosted major conversations, are you a bit miffed that nobody has suggested candidates breaking down MSU football and can't read, can't write?
I mean, that's a good question. And we were in touch with Kamala's people briefly to have her come on.
But we said we wanted Tim Walls and not her because he's more interesting.
We wanted the coach. We wanted the coach for the football podcast.
Yep, too bad.
But then we saw that he went to the big house, and we were like, well, not clearly not going to vote for him now. Obviously, I need to write in Jill Stein because that makes the most sense in the entire world because he went to the big house.
But you know why Jill Stein always made sense. She's the Green Party, Michael, and she was the only one that knew how to go green. So just saying.
Right. The logic is
you guys
infallible.
I forgot to tell you guys at the time, but Tim Wells actually texted me and said, I've been listening to the pod. Your previews are so perfect that I have very little to add. And and then he added to go.
But he said, can't wait for the Illinois one. And he's disappointed currently.
And he's already ashamed. And he has a lot of time on his hands. So I bet he'll be listening more. So next up, Ali. Ali says, been silent for a few weeks. Are we cooked? No. I mean, yes, but not yet.
In some ways.
In some ways, but once, if and when we lose to Illinois, then yes. But until then, no.
Yeah. We're in a state of
But even if we do, there's
cooked animation.
Just imagine how on Tuesday night, some felt like, well, we can get this one.
Uh-oh.
If we lose to Illinois, we've got two more we can win.
Oh boy.
Rutger and Purdue. Purdue's a W. We're going to get to 5 wins. I just don't want the game. I just don't want it to come down to a mid-off against Rutger.
All right.
That will be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The battle
anyway,
for
glad
the
to have you back,
basement.
Ali. Glad to have you back. Next up, MZA. Kevin, what can MSU do to have a chance at beating Kansas?
Okay. So we're going to need really good play out of one of the guards. We're going to need Jaden Akins to decide that he has a pulse. And then we're going to need someone that you're not expecting to step up. Or maybe someone that you are expecting, but Kansas is not expecting. So maybe it's Cohen Carr. Maybe it's, I don't know, Carson Cooper, all of a sudden out of nowhere starts accomplishing
Zavala can play
something.
defense against Dickinson. Who
Yeah.
knows?
But it's going to require a little luck this early in the season for our team to be able to beat such an experienced and, I mean, well-rounded team.
I hate that they have Hunter Dickinson, and I hate their coach.
Again.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
When you talked about his commitment video, did you mean his commitment video, or did you mean the video of him coming back this year?
I meant his initial commitment video.
Did you see the video from this year?
I don't think I did. No.
Oh,
No.
It's Bill Self being like, "Yo, Hunter, I need a decision." He's like, I guess we can do it again."
Ew. He's just, I can't with how bad of an actor he is.
Remember when he would be on that podcast with that dude that was like, Hunter, talk to me, Hunter.
To the chopper.
Just like some drool starts coming down from my man.
Plum is so bothered right now.
It makes your skin crawl because he's not like a real person. It's upsetting to me. I don't like it.
Oh. And finally, from a Maple Leaf, Rachel Forsyth was named Big Ten Women's Cross Country Freshman of the Year. So, what was the most outstanding mention you attained during your freshman year? This goes to Plum. This has to go to Plum. I send this to Plum.
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you, I don't have any clue what I'll tell you what it was. It was probably Connie Hunt in MC 111, the James Madison writing course we had to take our freshman year. Just like ripping my papers to shreds and then being like, but you have fantastic, like, and then some obscure, like, excellent diction. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. She would do that just like you write too many words, but your word choice is really gravitating, and then just give a bizarre, and you're like, she loves me. She loves me. She wants me to be an author. So I'm going to say that was it. Anything Connie Hunt ever said to me, anything that she ever said to me that was positive, probably my biggest.
Greg, what I thought about James Madison is not true. I was bored by that story.
But this is how, if you ask wherever there's a room with two James Madison students in it, there's going to be some discussion. There's going to be some sharing.
No, I don't want to discuss that anymore.
Yeah, but you've done it too. You've done it in the past. I appreciate you if you're trying to break away from it, but it's happened. I've been in the room where it's happened, and I lived it last weekend when Plum was at my house and another James Madison alum showed up, and there was just the like James Madison thing.
You were with an alum?
It happens.
Who? No, certain alumna.
Next up from Maple Leaf, what's one action you completed for attention to optimal self-care last week and or would like to continue as long as you need it?
Greg, tell me about your self-care last week.
Yeah.
And what would you like to continue?
How did you safely care?
That you completed.
I turned off social media to completion this week. And that was time well spent. It didn't take long. It doesn't take long.
Never does.
Couple clicks is all it takes to turn off social media. And the release from that is welcome.
Well said.
I don't know. Would Connie have was my diction any good on that? Plum?
Your
What kind of you
diction
say?
is never good. But anyway, gentlemen, it's been a great time. I'm so happy we did this. And until next time, go green.
Go.
Come on!
Smooth operator. I drop top of my whip, baby. That car driving make you feel some type of way. I know you do. That custom brightly make you feel some type of way. I'm shining, ho. This bitch on we got me feeling some type of way.